Okay, so I will be very transparent and say that there is a piece of this that you'll only get to see on Facebook. I mean, not Facebook, on YouTube. So I'm just going to say that. So if you're listening to this through one of the podcast avenues, you may have to go to my YouTube page to actually see what I'm going to be showing. So I'm super excited because I've started on this new journey of being very intentional with my words, my podcast, my life, and my being a vessel of healing. And one of the ways that I'm doing that is Friday Fun. And I am intentional on having fun because in the past, I have put all of my energy towards working and not having fun or creating experiences. And so I'm going to be very intentional on doing that in 2023. And one of the ways that I decided to do that was to go to Pottery. And so a couple weeks ago, I told Dennis, I'm like, listen, I'm gonna go do some pottery. I asked him, did he want to go? But of course he don't want to go, which was totally fine. I was actually looking forward to spending some time with me and really, I wanted to use my hands to create something new. So I called the pottery place and I'm like, hey, do I need an appointment to come in? They were like, no, you can just come in. You can do pottery. You can make candles. You can paint. They had a whole slew of things, but I knew that I wanted to do pottery. So I go in to, it's called Pottery by You. It's here in Indianapolis. And I go in and they have like walls and walls of pottery that has already been formed into different things. They have cups, they have bumblebees, they have animals, they have bowls, they have platters, they have a whole host of things. And so when I first went in, I was looking for like the wheels for the pottery. That's what I was looking for. And so I walked around and then I ended up asking one of the people that worked there, is like, hey, do you have the clay with the pottery wheels that we would actually make pottery? And he was like, no. And he was like, nope, it's already made and then you just paint it. And I have to be honest and say I was a little disappointed. And so that's the first thing that the first nugget that I want to offer is sometimes it's not what you think it's going to be. Sometimes the thing that you are looking to do is not really, it's not there. The option is gone. And so after I kind of let that go, it's like, okay, Tawana, you're already here. You can still use your hands with the painting. And so I decided to do that. So I walked around. At first, for me, I was going to do a bumblebee. A bumblebee is like my spirit animal. It's the thing that I relate the most to. So I was going to do a bumblebee. And maybe I'll do a podcast around that a little bit later. But what I will say is that a bumblebee is like my spirit animal for a number of reasons. Number one, because I've always been extremely afraid of bumblebees when I was younger and when I had not done any healing work. So that's one of the reasons why I was fearful of the bumblebee, because I had not done my spiritual work. Now that I've done my spiritual work, bumblebees, I see them in the most awkward places at the most like craziest times of the year. And I feel like, oh, yeah, there's bumblebee. And I'm not scared of bumblebees anymore. They're a friend to me now. So, and here's the other thing, the bumblebee aerodynamically should not be able to fly, but it does anyway, which is me. Like, I have a number of reasons why I should not be where I am, but here I am talking to you on this podcast. So anywho, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But then I was like, with a bumblebee, I could be creative, but usually bumblebees are yellow and black, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do a yellow and black bumblebee. And I didn't really know that I would get the same feeling if I did it another color. So I decided on something else. And what I decided to paint was a coffee mug. What color do you think it was? Now, if you know me, you already know my two favorite colors are blue and orange. So I'm going to show you the mug at the end of my episode today. So I get everything together, and part of the reason why this was also a new experience for me is because I closed my paint and sip a couple years ago. And so at times it can be kind of triggering for me when I actually get a paintbrush out and actually paint, because it's like, am I missing it? Should I, there's a whole multitude of thoughts that go through my head when paint canvas and a brush are before me. But it was really an enjoyable process. And that is the nugget number 2, which is enjoy the process. So I sat down, I got my colors, put my paint on my palette. You see this here right here? Put my paint on my palette and really just enjoyed the process of painting for a couple of hours. If you've ever done this process before, there's a process where you paint and then you blow dry and then you paint again and then you blow dry and then you paint again and then you blow dry. So that you have to paint it over 3 times. And I'll be honest, when I had done the 3 coats, I was like, these are not the colors that I intended it to be. This does not look like the blue that I chose. Neither does it look like the orange that I chose. Which brings me to point number 3. You got to trust the process. Even when it doesn't look how you think it's supposed to look, sometimes you ain't the smartest. Sometimes you just have to trust that the people who know the process. And in the end, you are going to get what you expected. Trusting the process is just a part of the journey. Okay. Now, the other thing that I was noticing and aware of was what were my thoughts through this process, because of some of the thoughts and the baggage that I had about Mimosa and a Masterpiece. I was just being, aware, like the differences in the palettes, how I felt. Did I really want to do it? I was just really aware and noticing the thoughts that I was having, which is nugget number 4. You got to be aware. You got to, and not just aware, but self-aware of what you're feeling, what you're thinking, the reactions that you're having to wherever you are and whatever the experience is. So that's nugget number 4. Now, if you have ever done this process, you know that I don't know where they send after you paint it, the stove fairies. I don't know where they send it to, but they were like, you got to come back and get it. You got to come back and get the finished product. And for me, so when they texted me and told me that it was ready, there was a part of me that was like, oh, just go get it tomorrow. But I know me, that if I don't make a commitment to do it when I'm supposed to do it, it could be 4 years from now. And I'll be like, oh, I didn't get that cup. I'm sure they already finished with, you know what I'm saying? And so the last nugget is complete the process. Complete what you start. If I'm supposed to go pick the mug up in a week, then I need to go pick the mug up in a week. If there's a test that you're supposed to complete, if there is an assignment that you're supposed to complete, if there's a work instruction, whatever it is, complete the process. Okay. Do the thing that you know that you are supposed to do. That was my Friday fun in pottery. So it was it was a beautiful, beautiful experience. Now I'm going to show you what I made. Okay. If you are in podcast land, you got to go to YouTube, okay, to see it. And here it is. Isn't it just amazing? I mean, you can tell orange and blue are my favorite color because I got on orange. And I got on blue on the bottom, but you can't see it. Anywho, we're not talking about that. But here's my beautiful mug. So I'm going to encourage you to try something new, have some fun, and then tell me about it.